Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. Ash here, just to cover some more Hollyoaks news. So today we have had another exit. People are suggesting there'll be about 20 members of the cast cut, so I assume we'll slowly get drip-fed a bunch of names. But today, as of the 8th of April, this will likely come out on the 9th, now Cindy Cunningham has been axed from the show, and that means Stephanie Waring has exited the show after 28 years. She posted this on her Instagram and has done a big post saying, hey, look, I've been axed. Here's what happened. So I'll just read the article. Hollyoaks star Stephanie Waring has announced that she has been axed from the soap after 28 years. Stephanie, who plays Cindy Cunningham in the Channel 4 soap, shared an emotional Instagram post with fans and said she is heartbroken over the decision. She wrote, I can't believe I'm writing this, and I've taken the last 2 weeks to process and come to terms with the shock of what I'm about to say. I'm heartbroken to announce that my character of Cindy has been included in the actors' reduction of Hollyoaks. As an actress, obviously I understand there are no jobs for life, but with my 28 years on the show, I hope that Cindy would survive the exciting revamp and continue into the show's era. Especially as I began playing her in 1996, making me the only original cast member remaining to be included in the cast call, which I can only describe as gutting. If you want to give more details to say about what went on behind the scenes, saying, I was given the chance to say I'd chosen to quit the show to spare me any embarrassment of revealing that I'd been axed, which was very kind, but I don't want to lie to the fans who have followed Cindy's journey for nearly 3 decades, as I believe they know she nor I would have ever left the show by choice. Hollyoaks has been in my blood, and I've been a part of the show for decades. I've made that last quote up. Cindy, Hollyoaks is in my blood, and I would love to every minute of walking in Cindy's heels. Stephanie added, I would like to add that I totally understand all shows evolve, so whilst I cannot hide my devastation, I can only express my gratitude for my time on the show, and I respect the producer's decision with no anger, just sadness. She finished the post with, I know that on my last day I'll walk out with my head held high, even if my mascara is still running. And then we have a lot of other people saying like, you're really talented, you've done really good stuff, and just generally commending her for her contribution to the show and the contributions to the soap. And I will just say that I think this is a sad cull of a character I will entirely add, but I think it makes sense. I think there's good reason as to why Cindy has left the show, and I think that, as said before, I think it sucks in a sense, but I also don't think it's such a bad thing, because look, if they were bringing in Cindy's family, if they were bringing in, if they brought Holly back, they brought a bunch of other characters back in, they kept a family with Dodger. If she had family on the show, I don't think she would have been axed. But Cindy, as a character, has been by herself for a couple of years now, and I think that has done a lot of bad stuff for the character, because simply saying she has nothing to do. She's currently in a milquetoast, nobody's favourite relationship with Dave, and that's another character who I can easily see being axed, as he's simply having nothing to do in the show. I'm not that upset. I really can't lie. Because I like Cindy, and Cindy has gradually become one of the characters I do enjoy, and a character that is enjoyable to watch. But I don't know, man. In terms of who's come out so far, we've had Scott, we've had Warren. Who else have we had leave? Jamelia and Cindy so far. I simply don't believe that they will. I don't think they'll kill Cindy off, as she is Hollyoaks royalty, and I feel like you should reserve the chance for her to come back once the show's in a better place. But I guess, yeah, there's only so many different ways that I can say I think it's a massive shame, but I respect why they've done it. I appreciate why they've done it. And I will just say, get prepared for a lot of unfortunate cuts. Because, look, we're cutting a lot of the members of the cast. And some of your favourites will leave. There's a very set few amount of people who I genuinely believe will be integral to the show. And I think some of these characters will be like Nancy and Darren. I think some of these characters will be Stee. I think that Tony and Diane will keep around. I think Sienna will stick around. But as said before, a lot of these characters have family and have a lot more long-term lasting impact. And I think if in another world where they hadn't have culled Mandy, I think they would have been safe. But at the end of the day, I think it's an unfortunate thing that simply saying she just doesn't have that many ties to the show anymore. And that's the key part in allowing the characters to, if you can facilitate different characters and different storylines, that's fine. But for what feels like the last several years beyond the Luke stuff, she was just there, getting a paycheck, doing the storylines. And yeah, it is a shame. But it's not the saddest one. And I think that, like I said, I think that the worst is yet to come. I'll say that much. But it will be really interesting to figure out who Hollyoaks believes will be integral to keeping the show successful and pulling it out of the grave that Channel 4 has put it into. That will be something that will be particularly interesting to witness. And admittedly, it will be very sad. But you've got to make some cuts, because ultimately Channel 4's not planning on backing you much longer unless you suddenly make the show really good. So less is more, and so the quality should rise, but the cast numbers will unfortunately fall. So yeah, there we are. I realised I forgot to write the Cunningham on the end of Cindy Cunningham. Fuck's sake. It's been like that for 8 minutes. But yeah, no, solid. It's a big shame, and I've said that about 17 million different times, but I think it is important to be aware and cover all of this. But yeah, just want to thank everybody for listening to this. Obviously, it's just off the back of covering the Yolande storyline. If you don't know what that is, it's rough. So I hope I at least covered it in a meaningful enough fashion without making it a bit fucking shit. But yeah, no, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to see what you guys think in the comment section about this axe, and I want to see how people feel about it. Is it shaping up like we used to? Is it the sign of the times being done? But how important is Cindy really? How important a character is she really? It's kind of, you have to make these hard cuts in a time like this. And unfortunately, she's just another character being affected by it. But there we are. Thank you all for watching. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford, reporting on some Hollyoaks news. Thank you for watching. Join me in the next one. See you then. Bye-bye.